Under the bright lights of a jam-packed arena, fans from across the country gathered, their energy pulsing like electricity through the air. Two of boxing's brightest American stars, Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, stood across from one another. In the ring, both undefeated in pride, both with something to prove. This wasn't just a bout between rivals. It was a meeting years in the making, with whispers of this clash following them since their amateur days. From the opening bell, it was clear that this would be more than just a showcase. It would be a defining moment in both fighters' careers. As the first round kicked off, Garcia sprang forward with quick, snappy jabs bouncing on his toes, eyes locked on Haney. His hands were coiled and ready, his body twitching with potential energy. Haney, calm and composed, stood behind his high guard, moving with clinical precision, responding with calculated jabs of his own that popped through Garcia's guard and disrupted his rhythm. It was a round of probing, of feeling out distance and timing, each fighter searching for vulnerabilities without giving away too much too early. As the second round began, Haney started to show why his jab is one of the most respected in the game. It was quick, sharp, and surgical, snapping Garcia's head back each time it found its mark. Garcia, unshaken, maintained his lateral movement, bobbing and weaving, trying to set traps. He tested Haney's defense with lightning-quick combinations, most of which were blocked. But the speed and aggression began to raise the crowd's volume. Midway through the round, Garcia exploded with a flurry. 2 shots to the body, and a left hook upstairs that clipped Haney's temple. Haney remained poised, resetting behind his jab and controlling the range. The chess match had begun and it was already gripping. In round 3, Garcia increased the tempo. He knew that if he could rattle Haney early, he might be able to swing the momentum his way. He began feinting more, drawing reactions from Haney, then darting in with hard rights to the body. Haney, however, stayed on script. He slid out of danger with impeccable footwork and countered with a lead right hand that caught Garcia flush. The crowd gasped as Garcia reeled slightly, but he gritted his teeth and nodded, acknowledging the clean shot. The final seconds of the round saw both men trade in the center of the ring, Garcia winging hooks while Haney stayed tight, landing a clean left to the body that clearly stung. Round 4 brought with it a noticeable shift. Haney began to assert more dominance, his jab now doubling and tripling, creating openings for the right cross. He caught Garcia several times coming in, each shot a reminder that walking through Haney's fire wouldn't come without cost. Garcia, always a danger, remained explosive. He leapt in with a left hook right hand combo that found its way through Haney's guard, igniting the crowd. But Haney, cool under pressure, rolled under a follow-up hook and cracked Garcia with a short uppercut that stunned him for a moment. The round ended with both men still standing, but the intensity was rising, rapidly. In round 5, the action escalated further. Garcia timed Haney perfectly and landed a picture-perfect left hook to the chin that wobbled Haney. The crowd erupted as Garcia surged forward, unleashing a storm of punches. Haney backed up, covered up, then tied Garcia up in a clinch to buy time. The referee broke them and Haney reset, taking a deep breath, aware now of the full danger Garcia posed. Haney returned fire with a stiff jab followed by a right hook to the body that backed Garcia off momentarily. It was a round that swung in Garcia's favor, but Haney's recovery and response were signs of a true champion. The 6th round saw Haney tighten his defense. He returned to what he does best, controlling distance, using his jab like a surgeon's scalpel, and making Garcia miss by inches. Garcia, however, wasn't discouraged. He kept coming forward, occasionally switching stances, firing off 3 and 4 punch combinations that sometimes missed but occasionally landed hard enough to snap Haney's head back. Haney was beginning to show some swelling near his left eye, but he didn't let it affect his rhythm. He popped Garcia with counters and made him pay each time he lunged in recklessly. By round 7, the crowd was fully engaged, hanging on, every punch. Garcia landed a brilliant left hook that seemed to echo through the building. Haney responded with a 3-punch combination, jab, right hand, left to the body, that pushed Garcia back. Neither man was taking over, but both were having moments which made each round incredibly difficult to score. Garcia's speed remained, a problem for Haney, but Haney's ring IQ and timing helped him stay in control during the lulls. There was a sequence late in the round where both men exchanged clean power shots, Garcia landing a right uppercut, Haney responding with a chopping right over the top. The fans roared, sensing this fight was turning into a classic. The 8th round brought another shift. Haney began to step on the gas, pressing forward behind his jab, now using it not only to score but to set up big right hands. He landed a sharp cross that caused Garcia to clinch for the first time in the fight. Sensing momentum, Haney pressed Garcia to the ropes, ripped a left to the ribs, then a right hook upstairs. Garcia countered with a vicious left that backed Haney off, but it was clear the tide was starting to turn. Haney's combinations were cleaner, his defense sharper. Still, Garcia's eyes remained focused, determined. He wasn't going away. In round 9, Haney began to take control. He fought with a calm intensity, slipping Garcia's wild shots and peppering him with accurate punches. A beautiful sequence saw Haney pivot off the center line and land a flush right hand that rocked Garcia briefly. Garcia, to his credit, fired back with a hook to the body and a short uppercut, but the cleaner work was coming from Haney. The fight was beginning to favor Haney's pace and precision, though Garcia was always one punch away from swinging things in his favor. Round 10 saw Garcia come out like a man on a mission. He let his hands go, targeting Haney's body early, then switching upstairs. He landed a solid right hand that jolted Haney's head, then followed with a quick jab that snapped his face back. Haney stayed composed, used the ring well, and countered with a blistering combination that included a right hand that snapped Garcia's head sideways. The action was fierce, neither man willing to yield. Garcia's aggression made it a close round, but Haney's sharp counters and ring generalship left a lasting impression. The 11th round was a showcase of grit and fatigue. Both fighters were marked up, sweat and blood mixing as they moved, clashed, and exchanged. Garcia landed a sneaky uppercut inside that briefly buckled Haney's knees, but Haney responded with a brutal body shot that made Garcia take a half step back. The exchanges were slower but heavier, each man digging deep, knowing the end was near. The crowd was at full volume, urging both fighters on. They knew they were witnessing something unforgettable. As the final round began, the tension was palpable. Both corners urged their fighters to leave it all in the ring. Garcia charged forward, swinging with everything he had. He landed a crisp left hook, then a right hand that forced Haney to cover up. Haney stayed composed, slipped punches, then countered with a double jab and a straight right that stopped Garcia's momentum. The final minute was pure chaos. Garcia firing with relentless aggression, Haney answering with accuracy and poise. Neither man backed down. They exchanged to the bell, each shot thrown with the weight of their legacies behind it. When the final bell rang, both men embraced briefly, the respect between them undeniable. They had gone to war, pushed each other to the brink, and delivered a fight that would be talked about for years. The judges' scorecards were close, and rightly so, as both fighters had done enough to claim moments of dominance. But the result hardly mattered to the crowd. They had witnessed a battle between two of the best, two warriors who dared to test their limits and leave everything in the ring. Whether it was Garcia's blistering speed and heart or Haney's masterful technique and resilience, what mattered most was that boxing had won.